Great catching up with my next guest. Felicia Spencer is going to be back in action against Danyelle Wolf at UFC Fight Night on May 22nd. Felicia, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Doing well. Good to catch up with you. It seems like you got a lot of notice for this fight. When did you find out?
I believe it was like 12 weeks out, something like that. So, yeah, definitely quite a bit of notice for it. I tried to pick things up as far as like focused fight camp around 8 weeks out. But honestly, I've been training pretty consistently and pretty already doing like hard training before that. So just trying to not overdo it.
Why was the fight so long away from finding out? Was that like something on both of your ends, or was that just something the UFC said, hey, this is the only date we have available, do you want to fight type thing?
I'm not sure. It definitely wasn't on my end. Maybe she had an injury, or maybe she just felt she wanted a certain time frame, or they, maybe they did. So,
okay.
When they told me the date, I did ask for the few cards before that. I was wondering if I could slide it in a few weeks earlier, but then they said no, the other cards were already full. So, it is what it is.
Is what it is, exactly. Were you surprised to get her as an opponent? And I know she's on the roster and there aren't that many featherweights, but it's just, I can't remember the last time a former title challenger, which was, you fought for the title in your last fight, fights someone making their debut. It's very unusual matchmaking for what you normally see in the UFC.
Yeah, especially, I was surprised that they didn't have any other signees or, give me someone else or, offer someone else. But at the same time, like when she was on the Contender Series last fall, I was like, well, I can see them, offering me something with her. And then when they didn't for a while, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to get her someone else and then get me someone else. And I'm sure we'd see each other down the road. But, I don't have much say in the matter, and they haven't really signed many other people or any other people that I know of.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just kind of going with the flow, like in this case, I feel like all the pressure's on me to win, so it's like, but I don't really care. Like, it's just another fight,
all you can do is control the fight itself, right? All that other stuff is up to the UFC and how they want to do their business, right? So it's not any point of worrying about it, right?
Exactly. Like, what am I going to say? No. Like, yeah. I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
So.
No, I know. We talked about it there, the Amanda Nunes fight. What did you sort of take away the most from that performance that you're bringing into this fight? I mean, you fought one of the best women in the world. You fought a lot of really good fighters, but Nunes obviously right up there.
But it all really comes down to like mentality and, just being, not being like too focused on just one thing, or, just being more fluid. That's when I am like flowing and more fluid and free feeling. I always, I have fun. I have my best performances. And that night I definitely got like a little stuck thinking about like certain aspects of my strategy, or just like really trying to force like one thing and hitting a wall essentially. So, and also I can acknowledge that she's an amazing athlete that was on her game. She was one step ahead of me the whole night, so not that I don't think I could win a fight against her. It's just on that night, she was definitely on her game, she had it all down. So good for her.
And then she would end up fighting one of your past opponents, Megan Anderson. Were you expecting the fight to play out the way it did with Nunes going for the submission? I know that's obviously a weakness of Megan's, but were you surprised that that's how the fight ended?
I mean, I can't say I'm surprised by anything great that Amanda does.
Right.
I was definitely like pulling for a competitive fight, just for the sake of the division and, just the outlook of the division and the attitude that fans have toward the division, so, but it is what it is. Again, Amanda's great for a reason, and she did a great job.
And then sort of last thing on that, because it kind of ties into the division, Megan Anderson, a free agent right now, as far as what we know. It looks like the UFC is not going to re-sign her. Do you think, when Megan sort of talked about the division being closed and stuff like that, do you pay attention to any of that? Or are you just sort of like, I got to focus on this fight and see how this goes, and not even like I said, the outside stuff, nothing you can really control?
Yeah, I'm very just like, exactly. I don't stress about things I can't control. I don't try to like, predict what's going to happen, and like I'm not prepared for anything that's going to happen because I have no idea what's going to happen. So it's right. I've kind of gotten used to that feeling, and I I haven't heard that the UFC is getting rid of the division, so I have to just assume that they're keeping it. I saw some article about Norma Dumont taking a fight at 145 in the summer, so it makes me think that maybe they'll get her someone to fight and then keep things rolling a little bit. But yeah, like again, I'll have to see what happens after my fight, see what's going on and what the options are at that point. But yeah, like you said, I have Danyelle Wolf in front of me on the 22nd, so that has to have my attention, and the rest just comes after. It'll be a surprise to everyone.
And we know Wolf obviously came over from the boxing world. She's got good stand-up, but her jiu-jitsu's come a long way as well. How do you look at this fight from a style perspective?
It's kind of very old school UFC, kind of, the striker versus the grappler. And I'm excited about it, though. I obviously the game plan looking in, wouldn't be for me to box a boxer, so that's kind of like an obvious giveaway. Mm-hmm. So, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to show strategies to take it where I want it. And, hopefully I always want to be in and out of the octagon as fast as possible. So hopefully within that first round, I'll be able to find my place and take her out, so I'm excited about it.
Anything different for this camp as far as training partners? Or have you kept it pretty much the same, training at the jungle, just sort of, your usual training partners?
Yeah, I have, the jungle is definitely my main place, and I pulled out all the tall, long, rangy people again mm-hmm. to be my main focus. And I do have a new corner. My husband Todd's gonna stay behind, and I'm taking another striking coach out with me that I've been working with. Richard Grindle is going to be added to my corner along with Mike Lee and Seth Petrozelli. So it'll be a fun dynamic. It's definitely more like, for me, without having my husband with me, it's going to be more like a business trip than a he always makes things more interesting for sure. But it's definitely straight business. I'm just going there, doing my thing, coming home, and then celebrating after. So.
And you got plenty of notice. So I'm assuming the weight cut's going pretty good, because you had lots of time to prepare for this one.
Yeah, weight cut's going good. Everything's pretty much where it always is. So, it is. It's always tough, but it's normal and to be expected, so.
May 22nd. I'm assuming you feel like you can submit her, but how do you see the fight unfolding on May 22nd?
I don't intend to rush her or do anything crazy to get caught. Not that I've seen any knockouts on her end, but I'm looking at her as someone who's gonna come quickly and aggressively, and she's got some good cage defense and good things that she showed in her Contender Series fight that we're looking at. And I'm just gonna stick to the things I'm good at. Maybe show some different things standing up, and then obviously taking it to the ground would be like my bread and butter. That's my world. So more than likely it'll end up on the ground, but we'll see. What's
your contract status right now? Do you have a couple fights after this, or what's the deal right now post fight? Obviously the focus is on May 22nd, but sort of the grand scheme of things, how many more fights do you have left?
I'd have to double check or triple check, but I think I have one after this.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. For sure. So that probably makes you feel a bit better. I was just wondering if this was the last one, and then, you're hearing the comments about the division shutting down. Obviously doesn't feel good security wise, right?
Right. Yeah. This is definitely not the last one. I don't think there's two more. I think there's one more after. Yeah.
And because the UFC hasn't signed a lot of the featherweights, do you see more women from 135 maybe making that jump up? Miesha Tate's someone who's come back. She expressed interest at fighting at 145. Is that something you think could be a possibility just to fill up the roster, so to speak?
I mean, I was surprised that it hadn't happened yet, really. I thought when the division started to open up, when they signed me, I thought everyone, half the 135 division would be like, I'll go up and, get a quicker path to the title than fighting at 135. And a lot of them cut a lot of weight, too, so it would be advantageous.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'd be down for any of them to come up and join the division.
Your reaction to Miesha Tate coming out of retirement? She's not, again, she only took a couple years off, but interested with her fight coming up with Marion Renault in July. What was your reaction when you heard the news she'd be coming back?
I thought it was cool. I thought she did it for the right reasons, and I thought she exited the sport for the right reasons. She just wasn't, her heart wasn't in it. Maybe just taking that break, really invigorated her, and she got to have her family, and she's got, I think, 2 kids now. So, and she's feeling in shape and ready, and more power to her. I think that's cool that she's able to come back, after taking another path for a few years and figuring things out, that she really, she knows she wants to do it. She's obviously like all in. So.
We had a couple big women's fights a couple weeks ago. Wanted to get your thoughts on those. First, Valentina Shevchenko getting that stoppage win over Jessica Andrade. What did you think of that? Because Valentina's looking pretty unstoppable in that weight class.
Yeah, she's looking awesome. I was surprised that she manhandled Andrade the way that she did. I was there just a couple rows back, so it was definitely impressive to see that. And I mean, like I said before, like, so much of fighting is mentality, and she just has, like, she's got the perfect mentality to be on top, to stay on top, and just have full confidence in her ability. And she has the ability to do that too. So it was cool.
And then obviously also on that card, Rose Namajunas getting the head kick knockout win over Weili Zhang. What'd you think of that? Because Rose was the underdog in that fight. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure who was. It was super impressive. I mean, especially so quickly in the fight. I think Weili definitely got put down. I know she was reacting well after she got rocked. Really, she got put down. So it was a good stoppage. But I think a rematch would be fun. I really think that Weili Rose rematch would be something I would like to see next.
You think so? Even with Weili, she's only had, I think, the one title defense. You think because of the way it ended, it should have a rematch, or just because she was the former champ? Well, I'm curious why you think that.
Partly, like, in the when a title fight gets ended in the first round like that, it's always like, oh, what if that didn't land? Like, what would have happened? But who else besides, like, Joanna is?
Well, they have that fight between Yan Shonan and Carla Esparza coming up, right? I think that's the idea, is the winner of that would fight Rose, especially because Carla has a win over Rose, right?
Okay, yeah. So I was thinking Weili has a win over Joanna, so it would make sense in that regard. But yeah, maybe if Carla came out on top, that she would get the title shot. So that would make sense too.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Like, if there was a lack of contenders, because obviously Joanna's not going to fight Rose again. Rose has beat her twice decisively, right? So I think the chances of a third fight would be kind of slim, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. I like the idea of Carla with a win, getting that shot.
If she wins, yeah, Yan Shonan, very, very talented. So we'll see what happens there. Before we go, I don't know if you know this, but I know you drink Tim Hortons coffee. Did you know they just came out with like a cold brew Tim Hortons? I just found this out today.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, so I'm wondering when it's going to come to the U.S., because obviously if we get it here, it's probably going to take a bit to get to where you are in Florida, right? So.
Yeah, like, I wonder if I can get it on Amazon or something.
You should look it up after this. Yeah, I'm just putting it on your radar. I don't know if you like the cold brew. That's the really strong coffee that's it's healthy, right? It's not no sugar or anything like that in there, right? So.
Yeah, I'm down with cold brew. Yeah, I'll tag them in this post and
see if they send you a fresh batch. Especially in Florida, it's hot out there, right? So you need something to cool you down a bit than a steaming cup of coffee.
I'm done with my hot coffee in the morning, so it's getting hot outside to have that.
There you go, Felicia. Thanks so much for doing this. We're really looking forward to the fight, May 22nd. It is UFC Fight Night. Anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors? Any social media? I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I want to thank you and all the listeners for taking a moment to talk with me today. And, longtime sponsor, always, the Other Side MMA, coming out with some new things, but still the old reliable hand wraps are the number one product there you should check out. And everyone at my gym, all my coaches, just bending over backwards all the time to help me and putting me, in the forefront of their mind so much. And I really appreciate that, and just want to give them a special shout out.